Welcome into the Steelers Talk Mailbag. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Today, it's my favorite segment of the week. I get to talk with you guys directly. You have questions. I have answers on the black and gold, so I'm not going to hold you guys up any longer. We'll get into the questions here in just a second. But first, click that subscribe button if you haven't already and join the Steelers Talk family. We are already the largest Steelers news channel anywhere on YouTube, and we give you guys daily content for free on this channel, and we try to be the most interactive community of Steelers fans anywhere on this platform. We have daily poll questions. We go live twice a week where you guys can interact with your fellow Steelers fans across the world. And, of course, we have these mailbags where you guys can ask me questions directly every single week. So if you guys want the most interactive experience for a Steelers fan anywhere on YouTube, this is the place for you. Click that subscribe button right now. Got my man Justin Yankuski coming in with a 5. Says, do you think Aaron Rodgers can actually help Steelers defense in camp and practices exploiting their weaknesses? His football IQ is crazy good. It is crazy good, and, Listen, I don't think that the Steelers defense necessarily needs a whole lot of, guidance in this area. I think that they're kind of just fine. Now, I do think Rodgers will exploit some weaknesses, and then I think the Steelers coaching staff, at least I hope, makes some adjustments based on the way that Rodgers can kind of slice and dice them a little bit in training camp. But, as it stands right now, I do expect the Steelers defense to be a really freaking good defense, guys. They got, in my opinion, the best and deepest pass rush in the NFL heading into the year. I like their linebackers heading into the year with Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson. I like their 3 safety package this year with Minkah Fitzpatrick, Deshaun Elliott, and Juan Thornhill. I like their cornerback room this year a lot more than I did last year. I think this defense is going to be damn good, man. I can't wait to watch them play. Got one from 20 from Stryker. Let's go, Stryker. Everybody spam Stryker in the chat. But he sends in a $20 super chat, says, this is not a question, but I believe the Steelers have a chance to upset the top teams, especially with how underrated they are this year. Do you think without another new wide receiver, Roman Wilson will step up? The answer to the question, Stryker, is I don't know. All right? It's complete speculation whether or not Roman Wilson is going to step up because we haven't seen him in an NFL setting before. He only played a couple snaps last year, didn't get the football really at all in an actual NFL game, so he is all projection at this point. Do I hope and do I think that he's capable of stepping up and being a legit starter in this league? Absolutely. He reminds me a lot of Randall Cobb and his physical skill set and his play style. And as we know, Aaron Rodgers really loved Randall Cobb from the slot. So I think that Roman Wilson, if he's going to succeed with anyone, it's going to be with Aaron Rodgers. We'll see what kind of role he plays, and we'll see if they end up bringing in another wide receiver during this offseason before training camp. But the answer to the question there, Stryker, is I don't know on Roman Wilson, but I damn sure hope he can be a good player for us. So take a guess for me down there in the comments section. Over or under 4.5 touchdowns for Roman Wilson in 2025? Will he get to 5 or more touchdowns this year, or will he be below that number in 2025? Give me an over or an under down there in the comments section for today's pinned question. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds, and when that happens, take advantage of that time by letting me know over or under 4.5 touchdowns for Roman Wilson. $10 from Shaker Hand says, what do you say to the idea that the game has become more offensive-sided? See Belichick on Manning Show, drop tackle rule, etc. Is there room for teams to focus on defense and game management like Pittsburgh? The answer to the question is yes. Now, that doesn't mean you can win a Super Bowl with a bad offense. I think we've seen with the Pittsburgh Steelers the last several seasons, they've had good defenses, but they didn't have good offenses, bottom 10 offenses, and because of that, you kind of feel like they don't have any shot come playoff time. You got to have at least, a decent NFL offense, probably above average NFL offense to even have a shot to win a Super Bowl. But teams with really good defenses definitely, give themselves a shot. Just look at the Philadelphia Eagles last year. The way that they won last year was elite defense, ground and pound run game, and then competent quarterback play in the passing game with good weapons. Pittsburgh Steelers are setting themselves up pretty nicely right now to try and follow that kind of model that the Eagles ran last year. Now, it's very difficult to have a team as complete as the Philadelphia Eagles had last year, but the defense here in Pittsburgh is expensive, but very, very good. The offense, you look at Caleb Johnson and the young offensive line, the run game could really take a big jump this year. And Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion, is the best quarterback that this team has had in a very long time. And then who knows, they might add another wide receiver to this group along with DK Metcalf that could take this passing game to the next level as well. So I think that the Steelers' strategy is to try and not rely too much on an elite quarterback, rather build a complete team around a competent quarterback like the Eagles did last year. And we'll see if that strategy works out for him this season. Going from Offsides Edit says, what would Darius Slay do if we got Jalen Ramsey, though? And I'm thinking like a 2nd and a 5th round pick for Tyreek Hill and Ramsey. If they can somehow get Tyreek and Ramsey in the same deal, that would be crazy. And that would be, we'd be live immediately on this channel going absolutely nuts. It'd be one of the greatest live shows in the history of this channel. But I think if they do trade with Miami, it's probably going to be just for Jalen. It'll probably be a 5th-round pick for Jalen Ramsey. And what would Darius think of it? I think that he'd be fine with it because most teams, and even the Steelers, spend most of their time in nickel, which means multiple corners are on the field. It's not just 2 corners that are on the field. There's 3 corners usually on the field at any given time. Darius Slay, Joey Porter Jr., and Jalen Ramsey would all be on the field at the same time. Ramsey would be playing in the nickel. So you could definitely find a way to make this work. Now, Darius, when they do go to just 2 cornerback sets in their base formations, Darius would probably come off the field. But because he's older, he's got less tread on the tires, and it's really only like 15 to 20% of your defensive snaps are in that kind of heavier formation, I think he'd be perfectly fine taking those plays off. So I actually think Darius Slay would love to add Jalen Ramsey because it makes the defense better. So that's kind of what I'm expecting at this point. Now, no matter what moves they make this offseason, the one that we know is going to be here come week 1 is Aaron Rodgers. After a long wait, Aaron Rodgers will be the Pittsburgh Steelers starting quarterback this year. And if you guys want to get his officially licensed number 8 Steelers jersey from our friends at Fanatics today, you can go to chatsports.com/AR8. That is our special link. If you guys click that link and make a purchase, Fanatics sends us part of the proceeds here at Steelers Talk. So if you're already planning on getting an Aaron Rodgers Steelers jersey and you want to help out the channel while doing so, all you have to do is go to chatsports.com/AR8 and make a purchase. Got one from Electric Divergent here. Says Zack Frasier make it to the Pro Bowl this year? I think so. I think that he's one of the top 5 centers in football. I think that he is going to be taking, an even better step this year. He's going to take his game to an even higher level than it was in his rookie season. And I think that he's going to be the solid rock in the middle of the Steelers' offensive line for years to come. That's going to be the foundation of this group for the next decade. Then we got Pittsburgh Fan 412 here. Says, is Omar waiting on TJ's contract to see how it needs to be structured to fit a wide receiver 2 or tight end and cornerback, Amari Cooper, Jonnu Smith, and Jalen Ramsey, any or all of them? It's certainly possible, but listen, man, if you trade for Jalen Ramsey, you kind of know what you're getting into because it's a trade. The contract's already set up, and you're only adding about $6 million in additional cap for this season when you got 18.8. So the Steelers, in theory, can trade for Jalen Ramsey, sign another receiver in free agency, and then backload TJ Watt's contract, especially because when you sign in an extension, that extension doesn't kick in until next offseason, right? So it doesn't really affect this season's strategy in terms of the cap management, that sort of thing. It's kind of complex here, but the long story short here, I don't think adding Jalen Ramsey or Amari Cooper or any of these guys is necessarily going to affect the TJ Watt situation. The Steelers are going to probably pay him a big contract regardless. Then we got CJ Ross here, says you should take off Keenan Allen because he has said that he will not play for us. What he said was he doesn't love the idea of playing in Pittsburgh, all right? And that's different from saying he will never play for the Steelers, all right? He doesn't love the city of Pittsburgh because it's not a fun city. That's pretty much what he's saying. He's used to living in L.A. He's used to living in Chicago, places where there's a lot of things to do, and they're kind of known for being fun cities, quote unquote. All right, and Pittsburgh's blue collar, all these different things, and it's probably just not his speed. But he also said in that same exact quote there, CJ, that Aaron Rodgers being the quarterback intrigues him. And he also said right after that, you never know. So I think that he has left the door open. I would rather get Amari Cooper personally. I think that he's a better fit for Aaron Rodgers' play style, more used to playing on the outside, which is what the Steelers would be asking him to do. But I don't think it's necessarily a 0% chance that Keenan Allen will play for the Steelers, all right? I don't think he would prefer to play in this city, but I don't think he's completely ruled it out. So make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already. We're going to get to a couple more questions here in just a second. But if you click that thumbs up icon, it really does help out the channel, helps increase our reach here on YouTube, and it just takes a half second of your time. So the more people that click that thumbs up icon, the better this video will do. So if you want to help out the channel today, we greatly appreciate it. Got one from Christian Andujar. Says, hey, Jack, what if the O-line goes to shambles again during the season? Fire our O-line coach. Who are some candidates to hire to be the next O-line coach? I mean, it kind of depends because, you don't know which O-line coaches are going to get fired in the NFL this year. I would love to get Munchak back in here, but, he seems to be not too interested in coming back. But, when it comes to the offensive line, what happens if it goes to shambles? The season's over in terms of your chances of winning a Super Bowl. Because if you can't block for the running backs, the run game isn't going to be very good. You need a really good run game for this team to have a chance to win a Super Bowl. And if you can't protect, a 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers who's lost a bit of his mobility, the pass game isn't going to be as good. So the offensive line is really the biggest X factor for the Steelers' success this year. If you think the O-line's going to be successful, Steelers could have a really good season this year. If you think they're going to be bad again, the Steelers are going to have a very defined ceiling to their season once again this year. So the O-line is going to be absolutely critical this year. And if they don't do well, absolutely fire Pat Meyer. Then we got one from Walks, who says, do you think the ESPN reporter like Orlovsky watch enough film for their opinions on the Steelers to be valid, as it seems like their opinions are formed from a stat sheet, not watching film? So Orlovsky does watch film. I will say that. All right, he's not stupid. He doesn't not know football. He has watched the Steelers film quite a bit because he talked quite a bit about the Justin Fields, Russell Wilson dynamic last year. So he has watched quite a bit of Steelers film. He just has a different perspective than I do. He says he thinks the Steelers will win 10 games this year. He says he thinks they'll make the playoffs. It's just he feels like they're going to have that defined ceiling that we talked about, where he doesn't believe in the O-line. He doesn't think the weapons are good enough here. And, he might be right about that. It's still a big question mark whether guys like Calvin Austin III, Broderick Jones, Mason McCormick step up in the ways that they need to for this team to be successful. But as kind of an optimist and as a fan of this football team, I do believe in these younger players to take that next step. The Steelers believe in them as well. And if they do that, I think that Danny boy is going to be looking pretty stupid come January. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for stopping by for this week's mailbag. We do these mailbags every single week. We film them on Thursdays during our live shows at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure you guys join us every single week so you can get a question on a future Steelers Talk mailbag.